Oh, we struggle in all aspects of school.
Yeah.
We had PE down. That's about it.
And lunch.
PE and
I was ready to lunch.
That has stayed true to form.
Sean Watson, another step back, which I will say a lot of his problem that O-line. 8 sacks.
Yeah.
Good.
He's gonna be back like when Vic came back to the league after the dog hit him.
Yes.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Benchwarmer's Basement Banter. I'm Stat Guy.
I'm Rogers.
Woody Island down here.
Woody Island. We forced Woody to the other side. This is probably going to be where we, if people are OCD about where we sit, this is probably going to be where we actually sit.
Try to get as far away from the screens as possible.
We still don't know if it's going to work with him looking at it,
Yeah.
but we're going to try. But
Can't
Welcome.
touch anything here but my drinks. That's
welcome to episode 74. We're on episode 74, and being that the draft was just a couple days ago, we're going to talk about, or a week ago now, I guess.
Yeah.
Time flies.
A week ago, surprisingly. Yeah, time does fly. But we're going to give us the fantasy rookie rankings on what we think some of these offensive rookies are going to do in fantasy football and where you might want to draft them.
This is more up our alley, I think.
This
We did
is-
some
this-
in-depth research on that.
If you've been here for a little bit, you know we love our fantasy football. It was a mainstay on the channel. It's kind of what grew us on TikTok and helped a lot on YouTube as well. So we are happy to be talking about fantasy. We also forgot to turn these lights on, so I'm going to do that real quick.
There we go. We get figured out. Look at that. Hey, I'm a.
That
Does that not work? The clap part? No.
Where's the fourth light at?
It's worth a shot. That's some up there somewhere. It's good enough.
Good question.
Yeah.
Anyways, now you
Let's
can
find
see,
our fourth light.
now you can
YouTube.
see us a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
They might have liked it better. The
possibly, but as you see up top, we have all of our other social media. We are live right now on Kick and Twitch. We are trying to kind of push that.
We are live.
We are live.
Meeting, sorry.
We are live. We're wanting to do that a little bit and be more live on here and push these platforms. But this episode will go on YouTube. TikTok still hates us right now.
Yep. Only our long form content.
Yes, it does like the short form content for now.
I'll refrain from my comments on that then. So okay.
I can need the fit.
No, nothing. Moving on.
Yes. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get started on these rookie rankings. I have pulled up on my iPad here the Fantasy Pros Dynasty rookie rankings, and so it's going on that, and we'll just start with the number 1 player, and we got to see where as high as we think he's gonna go. Aston
Yeah,
Gianni.
just pretend like we're the ones picking.
Yes.
Yeah, where do we take
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
I like it. And also too, are we going PPR? You thinking or stand? I think PPR. What do you say?
Let's go half. Let's
Half
just
PPR.
go
I like that. That's right.
PPR.
Half
I like
PPR,
that.
yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
half PPR.
Which I mean, this guy does it all. So
yeah, it doesn't matter.
He didn't catch the ball out of a backfield a ton with Boise State.
yeah, that's this last year because he's too busy just getting the ball.
He was too busy
It's like
touching
he
the ball
just
and just
sitting
hitting a
in
touchdown.
We haven't had quarterbacks, so we'll just give you the ball. Works well.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut out the middleman, but yeah, I think he does have a pretty good skill set as a receiver. I really do. Honestly, I'm going. This might be crazy. He's definitely a first round pick for me. I think top 5, possibly.
Top 5 overall pick.
Overall, yeah, I'm a firm believer in this kid. Pete Carroll loves to run the ball.
He does.
That's why.
Top 5 overall.
Except
Yeah.
on the goal line of the Super Bowl.
That's right.
He's learned by then. Very, very good point. So let's hand it off. Don't get fancy.
So,
That might be ballsy. Like, honestly.
so then what running back rank is he for you?
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about like what running backs would be better than him. I mean, obviously,
What
gotta
did
go
you say?
back
He
to
cut you off.
I said probably third.
Yeah,
I think
third.
behind Barkley and Bijan. I really do.
Bijan? Okay.
And honestly, if you're talking dynasty, like this guy might be my number 1 back, really, because the age.
That's true.
Yeah, Barkley's getting
Yeah,
up there.
he's too old for that.
Yeah.
Which all due respect to him, he's amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's third.
Okay, fair enough.
I think he's right there in that RB3. I mean, honestly, you could even make an argument, see like what he does first couple rounds. He might be up there with Bijan. He might have a chance to pass Bijan.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Bijan had a very good second half of the season this past year. He started off slow, but he started to look more like what we thought he should be after a game like week 5 or 6. So.
Yes. Yeah, he was very good for me. I think I had him in all 3 leagues.
The end of the year too, Penix, when
Yeah.
he was under center.
Yeah.
You know, their offense kind of ran through.
That helped a lot better too.
Yeah.
They had some
Less turnovers.
Yes.
Yeah.
They kept the ball.
So I'm thinking he's probably going to be for me more around like 8, 9, 10 range. I
Okay,
think
I
a
can
little
see
bit
that.
less
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for just the rookie. We'll see what he does.
Mhm.
Probably in that Jameer Gibbs range, which is still very, very good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Gibbs would have been.
I think that's probably a decent comparison.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think.
If he gets his pass catch.
I mean, this sounds crazy, but I think they might use him more than Gibbs. The only thing is, Gibbs is in a better offense.
Yeah.
Well,
and more productive per touch.
I was actually getting ready to get that. You have to take into account that Gianti still is on a team that may get game flow.
Exactly,
So-
which is where the receiving. I think this kid.
Yeah.
Do damage there. Him and Byers. I really.
Yeah, so he's still the number 2
He
option.
is
there,
the
but-
better.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, but for running back, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all on board the hype train. This kid, really.
I agree. All right, now we're going to move on to Amarion Hampton out there in Harbaugh land.
Now this gets more difficult.
This does get more difficult because I'm
Another
not sure.
One of one.
a guy that did get a lot of help with where he was drafted. I think Harbaugh's
Yes.
another guy that
Run
wants to run the ball.
Yeah. So, he is going to split the backfield with Najee.
That's
the
the
thing.
that's
Yeah.
the only thing. I could almost see that being a little bit along the lines of what Detroit's done with Montgomery
Mm-hmm.
and Gibbs.
Yeah.
Honestly, now the more that I think about it, I really think that could be.
Yeah, I could see it. I think
That's
by the end of the
Najee
year-
being the guy getting touchdowns from the 3.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I think this guy's probably a high end RB2.
I can go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. RB2 is where I was.
I agree. RB2 for sure.
With, I mean, a higher ceiling. I think that
Yes.
his floor isn't
Yeah.
lower than that,
No,
but his ceiling can be so much higher.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a hell of an O-line too.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
very good
And
O-line.
still
Very
not much
quarterback.
on the receivers. You know, you
Yeah.
got the guy from Georgia.
They've still got McConkley.
Yeah,
out
Ladd.
there,
You got Ladd, and you're still hoping Quentin Johnston actually learns how to catch the ball.
Right.
a little
That
bit
would be
more. He
great.
showed
Yeah,
some
and then they
promise.
rookie. Is Trey Harrison that right? We'll get to him later.
Yes.
You know, they've got a few weapons, but going back to Hartbach's bread and butter, it's run the ball.
It is.
I
That's what he
mean,
wants to do.
Well, also another thing to take into account is like, yes, he may be splitting carries with Najee at first.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Najee doesn't perform
like
better
Najee
than he
does.
has been,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Harbaugh's probably not going to stand for it. They'll just give the ball to.
I think he's going to start the season 50-50 split, but I think by the end of the season, this guy could be league winner in like a 75-25 if Najee's still on the
Yeah,
field.
I think it starts off inverse though. I think
Yeah,
it's
he
probably
might be like
75.
4,
Yeah.
honestly, like week 2 or 3. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's where I'm at. Solid talent. I agree, RB2 range. That's where I'm at.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I would agree. So let's move on to one of the more polarizing guys, especially between us, because I think this,
Yeah,
I'm different than what you guys say on this. But let's talk about Travis Hunter.
Hey, you lead it off then.
Now,
That's your guy.
My question is, well, it's not going to work, and you'd have to draft Jacksonville's defense, and they're all right, but they're not great. So never mind on that. But
Yeah.
I see where you're going there.
yes, you seen where I was
On
thinking.
both sides, yeah.
I think he's gonna be 4th or 5th round pick, probably
I could see
in that
that.
range,
Yeah.
because he's not the WR1.
No.
You have a
Agreed.
clear one who has shown crazy potential in his rookie year in Brian Thomas Jr.
Yes.
I mean, he's explosive. You get him the ball, things happen. Hunter, though, with what's going to happen there, it's tough. But I'd say probably 5th round pick is what I'm thinking.
It's pretty fair.
yeah. I honestly, I'm gonna play to the agenda here. I think that's a little high. I think that because wide receiver is such a deep position, not because I don't think this kid.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think there's just so many good wide receivers. I think that he's probably a low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3.
100% agree.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
And I was kind of guessing on where those would go
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
Without doing a mock draft recently, I'm
Yeah,
kind of just guessing.
It is tough just 'cause, like, until we did our draft, our mock draft last year, I didn't realize how many good wide receivers were out there. And a lot of young ones. Some didn't pan out, so I mean,
Right.
see where Marvin Harrison
Take
Jr.
him for 6 more like they did
Uh,
last year. That was fine.
Yeah, just keep drafting.
I didn't even running back.
Yeah,
I think that he goes a little bit later than 5th round, but I think that we're on the same page with thinking that he's wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
He will have a spot on a fantasy team.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. And he may also just get the bump of people drafting him because he's so hyped.
That's where
what
I was going to go. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be overdrafted because the name
Yes.
is more around him.
His ADP is probably going to be
Yeah.
better than what he actually gets to
Yep,
play.
that's what I'm probably out on him this year because I'm so curious to see the usage. Like I
Yeah.
know it's going to mainly be offense, but I want to see how this works. And we're talking like round 4 or 5 draft capital. I personally rather have a little more of a sure thing, but the upside's there.
I'd say,
For sure.
but then if you had the chance to draft him and you missed, and he does
Yeah.
what his talent is,
Yeah,
you're sick,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's a league loser. Is
Yeah.
what that is.
Well, yeah, we're talking about a guy that absolutely was on the Otani's not going to
Yeah,
hack it train.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I was the captain of that. Did not pan out. Yeah, that's probably Woody's biggest miss on sports, but it is what it is.
All right, so I think we're gonna do top 5, and then we're just gonna bounce around here on who else we think, and maybe there's a few guys
Yeah.
we definitely have to talk about, like the tight ends. But that's kind of my plan. That sound good to you guys?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, so on number 4 is Tet McMillan,
Yeah.
T-Mac as they call him, but he does not deserve that nickname.
no.
Not in sports.
Yeah.
Maybe Team Mac.
5 years
Maybe.
of domination, you can maybe be in that discussion.
Let's see what he does.
Whenever you're the guy that
I do
Cody
agree.
says is the hardest guy to guard,
Yeah.
or another star corner, let's put in that,
Mhm.
then we'll get to that point.
You better do
So that's
something.
because I
instead of
love
that.
Mr. Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Um,
That's fair.
so my thing is like this guy's going to be wide receiver 2 or 3 on a bad team.
I don't know. I think he could be their wide receiver 1. I really don't know. Because
I would put him above.
I mean, you got Leggett and you got
Leggett.
Thielen. Like
You
I
still got
think
Thielen.
They still got Jalen Coker too.
They
yeah,
still got Coker.
Coker. It's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
so I'm
did-
saying he's definitely below Leggett now.
Okay.
And I
Interesting.
put him in that like right there with Coker.
Yeah.
Because Coker showed some shine
He did at the
last
yeah.
year. So
And him and Bryce Young seem to have pretty good.
they did.
So
They did.
I mean, what you just said right there is my concern with them. Is I mean, it sounds crazy saying the Carolina Panthers are loaded on offense. I'm not going that far, but they have a bevy of options for Bryce Young,
They did.
and he's a rookie receiver. Like I know the draft capital's there.
They also shored up his offensive line.
They also signed Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Who
Oh,
just
okay.
came back
He's
from
gonna get some
the
targets.
issue from ulcerative colitis
Yeah.
or something like
He's
that.
a great receiver.
Yeah, he was a great.
He's very solid.
Very solid.
He's very good.
So,
Yeah.
that's
There's a
interesting.
mouse to feed
There
there
is.
for a quarterback that I like his upside still, but I will say unproven.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not too interested in him either.
I'm not interested in Tet McMillan.
No.
Well, and another thing is just like it's just such a big, busy wide receiver pool.
Yeah.
I think this is a guy that you maybe play in certain matchups, but he's
Mhm.
probably sitting on your bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
agree.
would
I agree.
I would draft him in late for wide receiver depth and
Yeah.
possibly upside.
Yeah,
But
right,
other
yeah.
than that, personally, I'm staying away.
Yeah, I agree. The long term, I mean, this is another one. There's so many guys like I feel in past drafts. It's been like, okay, slam dunk. Like last year with Neighbors, Thomas Jr., who was Harrison. Sorry,
Yeah.
he didn't even see his potential, but there were so
He
many.
still had a good year.
yeah,
He did. He's
there's so
pretty
many
good off
sure
this.
things I thought going into your last year where a lot of these rookies this year, I'm like, ooh, there's a lot more question marks I think around them, and not even quite the draft capital as what they had last year. Like, I'm gonna stay away, but if he falls deep enough, then sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
on the
Yep.
upside.
I think this is a guy that you maybe will like late in the season, mid of the season, find on the
Ye-
waiver wire.
You
Late
might,
on. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like for Dynasty, his value right now might be higher because he wasn't a
Mhm,
great pick than
yeah.
it will be then. Maybe get him then if you like him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're consensus there.
Yeah.
Probably stay away.
I agree. We're somehow in line. That does not always happen, guys.
No, it's just fantasy. No, it really doesn't.
No, not at all. So let's see what this next guy goes, because I'm pretty damn high on him.
Yeah.
We got
okay.
Travion Henderson in New England.
And wait, does he get points for good pass protection?
He gets.
Did they do that?
They
yet?
don't do that,
Oh, nice.
but
Okay.
he is way more explosive than Ramondre Stevenson,
Oh, yeah.
who last
He
year
had a pretty
really-
good season.
but
Yeah.
he tailed off at the end of
He
last
did.
year.
He did.
He
Yeah, he did.
has fumble issues.
Yes, you nailed it.
Travion Henderson last year in 400 carries didn't fumble once.
Yep.
That'll put you
I
on the
mean,
field.
this guy's probably going to be a 75-25 over Ramondre right off the bat, in my opinion.
I don't know.
I think
I don't-
I honestly I mentioned Gibbs for Hampton.
Yeah,
But I think Gibbs is that rookie season might be more comparable for Travion Henderson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now
see
he
that.
may not have that talent, but he's pretty dang fast and he's explosive as hell. And
But
all,
against Texas, so-
all he needs is 15 touches to really get you points.
Well, that's Jameer Gibbs in a nutshell.
Yes,
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. And in the
As a guy who's drafted Jameer Gibbs both league or both seasons he's been in the NFL, and
Yeah.
if I get the chance to,
I'll do it again. Yeah.
That is definitely Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah, seems pretty solid option there. It really does. The thing with Gibbs though, going from a little more is like the O line he's behind, which
That's true.
is getting
New
better.
England
yeah,
is better.
they
perfect
made
situation.
some draft picks in the line category too.
Yeah, they did. Like they're
And you
building
got
something
Vrabel
good
there, who's
Yeah.
who's
Gonna
gonna
run the
make-
ball.
He's gonna run the ball.
Yeah.
And he's gonna make sure his O line is tough. Apparently,
Yeah.
Will Campbell's just gonna see him all the way to the end zone.
He will. He'll do that. And if not, he'll die on the field trying to do it.
Yep.
So, I love that kid. I like too, if you're talking like a PPR league, like this guy, I think
Yes,
could be dying.
I agree too.
Really
I agree there.
television.
That's something that Ramondre doesn't
Yes,
have.
he doesn't have that, and Drake May's
Still
gonna
needs-
need
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
yep.
think he needs that pretty. I mean, every quarterback needs that safety valve.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'm worried about him. What do you guys think their goal line touches? So I know you mentioned Stevenson with the fumble issue, but he's a big boy.
Yeah,
I
And
could
he's
see
a big
that.
back, and that
Ramondre may still get those goal line touches.
Because look at how they were used OSU. With Judkins
Yes.
and Henderson. Like Judkins was more between the tackles.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that worries me a little. So I don't know. Maybe I'm down on a lot of these rookies, but I'm a little lower on them.
Speaking of real segue there,
Yeah.
you said Judkins.
That's the
Yeah,
next guy.
yeah,
That's-
there we go.
that's-
See, that's where it's going. Yeah, exactly. I don't.
I
wanna-
didn't. Did we tell? I don't think we said where we thought Travion should be drafted. He's probably
think
He's a stash.
he's a
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
he's RB2.
I think RB. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
was
like RB2 flex as far
yeah,
as what they-
somewhere probably
He's
low,
got some
low
high
end
upside.
RB2.
Yes,
pretty good
RB2.
stash.
And I would want to like if you're doing that, maybe be heavier in your running backs as far as like have a solid another one that could be the RB2 instead of him.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
Have you some running back depth there? Don't bank on him as your main guy.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so now we move on to Judkins here. I think with Cleveland, how they're set up, they don't still have very many weapons on the outside. You
No.
don't know who the
That's surprising.
quarterback is going to be, so I kind of think load up on Cleveland running backs, and Judkins is probably the first one to draft.
Kevin Stefanski really likes to run the ball.
He likes
He
to run,
does,
Yeah.
and they have to. In this
Yeah.
division,
Yes.
like they have to compete.
and they have to with their team.
yeah,
just in
the
general.
ball play defense.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what they're going to do. They're going to play smash mouth football.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and then that division you have to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you
for
got my play. You got
Yeah.
my key play. You can't give the Bengals, the Ravens the ball.
Yeah, you score quick, they're gonna score fast.
Oh yeah,
Like-
yeah. Hold my beer and watch this. Here we go. I actually like Judkins a little more than Henderson for that reason. I'm not saying he's more talented.
He's just in a better situation.
situational fit.
If you're drafting for upside, which I mean, the same reason how they were drafted pretty close to the
Yeah, they
same picks.
were.
You have a higher higher ceiling with Henderson, and your floor is better with Judkins. So
I agree with that.
like
I agree.
I think they're
100%.
probably going to be pretty close to where they're drafted in
I
fantasy as well.
it's
Yeah.
funny. So I put him in an RB2 range too.
Yeah,
I really
I agree with that.
I agree.
I don't know. That might be like round. What are we thinking? Like round 4 or 5. Both these guys are gonna
RB2,
be
yeah,
off the bench.
4 or 5, somewhere in there. For me, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like round 8. But
Yep. And I thought double digits. We'll be taking swing.
Well, last year my first running back was Zamir White. so-
yeah, yeah.
That didn't work
Great.
well.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Guys, waiver wire. Here we go.
I think that he was on the waiver wire by week 3.
Yeah, I think he was, and I don't think he got picked up. I really don't. So, I mean, it's stiff competition there. It was who's their other running back? No idea.
No
So
idea.
There you go.
No idea. They had
They got that fixed now.
from
That's all I can
Minnesota.
say.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Addison.
Yeah,
Alexander
Madison.
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 I've been trying to make a running back out of him for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Man. So I guess. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's.
Alright.
I'm probably going Judkins. You're going Henderson. Probably
Yeah,
in that range. But
Yeah,
we're
I like
fine.
that upside on there, depending on my other running backs.
Yep.
too.
Yep. But I think
Obviously.
we're close on these guys.
All right, so we're gonna move on. We'll just go top 10 here, maybe.
Let's do that,
Yeah,
and then maybe
let's
throw a
talk-
few
And
guys
then
in
we'll throw
down
a few
below.
guys down
Yeah,
below we like.
yeah.
So, because there's these 10 guys we got to hit. I'm surprised for number 9 when we get there.
Yeah, I like that.
But Emeka Ibuka, he's honestly, I'm gonna throw in Emeka Ibuka and Matthew Golden because I think they're in similar situations.
I could see that. I hadn't thought of it in that context.
I think
The only thing with Ibuka is he is clearly 2 and Golden is clearly 1 in those groups.
Yeah,
the thing is I think Ibuka is in a better pass-heavy scheme.
I agree.
mm-hmm.
So-
I do.
And
kinda
if this is
guys.
PPR,
Yeah.
If you're looking at PPR, you drafted Buka over
Yep.
Golden
Yeah.
immediately.
He's
That's
a hell
not
of
a
a route.
question.
Because he's taking that Godwin role for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's what he's
He
been
may
the
not
whole.
give it
That's
back,
what he's
you
been
know?
his whole college career.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just what he's gonna do. And he set the record for most receptions in a career at Ohio State.
Yeah, and they've
which
had
is
some damn good
nuts.
receivers. Yeah. I will say he
And
stayed
he-
there longer than on others.
Yeah,
so-
he never got any recognition.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
He's
no.
a perfect
He
person.
was never the wide receiver.
Well, that's
one
perfect
step
if that
into
is-
senior
yeah.
year.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's used to it. I think he'll fit right in. I mean, what I've read, he's very polished. He's a hell of a teammate. Like, he just wants to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything I read was like they're like he's the best teammate ever.
Yeah, yeah,
Baker's gonna bake.
yeah.
He's gonna sling it.
Shaky Bicky
It
show. I
doesn't
love it.
matter, honestly, who he has apparently, because last year he had nobody and still
Yeah.
almost beat the Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we're gonna throw that in there. Right.
It's the truth.
I will say this is a guy that, like, for dynasty targets, like, I think in 2-3 years, like, this guy could be up there top 10 receiver. I
Yeah,
really
for
do.
sure.
I have more faith in him long term.
If he stays in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
he'll be there, a few years. But like, if you look at where Godwin's at, coming off the injury, Evans, how he is old. I mean, he's great, but he's
He's
old.
been in the league for 10 years.
He's been around forever.
It seems to
Yeah.
not matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Well, he'll have his 3-4 games he misses over a hammy or something, then he's
Right,
fine. I think it's Mike Evans.
Yeah.
But I'm really high on him long term. Not as high this year, but I think for this year, like wide receiver 3 possibly.
I agree, and I
Yeah.
tell you what, I like almost the whole Tampa Bay offense.
yeah,
in
yeah,
fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Straight up.
As far as Matthew Golden, he got
Yeah.
in there as
Another,
well.
another crowded wide
There's
receiver.
another crowded wide receiver room, but the difference between Tampa Bay and Green Bay is Tampa Bay is going to throw the ball no matter what.
Yeah.
Green Bay-
If Green Bay is allowed
Well,
to
that-
run the ball all game, they will.
They will do that. Tampa
That's
did.
gonna be a dick and be like 5,000 miles. That's a difference.
Now Tampa did run the ball late in the season.
Good Bucky.
Once,
Yeah,
once,
Bucky came
once
on.
Bucky started going, which I've
Bucky's
I've
good.
seen that he's like damn near a top 10 pick
Yeah.
for next
He's going
year.
high.
He was
Yeah.
going very high. He was
Sure,
great.
man.
I mean,
there, but
he saved my or he
So they got
didn't
to
save
set up
my.
that play action.
Yes.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I do think Tampa's probably going to run it more than they did last year because they have Bucky there.
I
Yeah.
do agree. It's
But
interesting because they don't.
You
throw
are
it
right though. Green Bay, if they can run it the whole time down your throat
Yeah,
with Josh
yeah,
Jacobs, they're
yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
And if healthy, their receiver room is stupid deep.
It's
and
deep.
It is. I thought it was deep last year when we drafted two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, maybe these will stay on the field more. I think
Well,
that's their
the-
plan.
yeah, I think
No.
that was the plan.
You, Texas fan,
Yeah. with the
so
horns.
you're saying Golden, I assume, from what I've read, he's a big play guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
So-
he saved Ewer's ass on many.
I believe
deep throws.
What you said exactly was like he's the guy for Kansas City. Why am I drawing a blank?
Tyreek.
Oh,
maybe I haven't given him-
Xavier
Oh,
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
He's
I'm
worthy,
sorry.
but less gimmicky.
Oh yeah, yes. I think he is a better all-around receiver. I do.
Yeah.
Not quite as fast, but he's bigger. I mean, this guy's at least 6 foot and weighs more than $150. So
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, exactly. That helps in the NFL, But yeah, I do think he's a better prospect. I guess I'm not super high on him this year because of all the weapons they have
Agreed.
and because the scheme, like the way they use them.
well, if Reed and Watson come back
So,
healthy, like,
yeah.
where's he going?
Well, Watson,
He's
is
gonna
going to
be-
be the end of the year.
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah.
going to be back
Yeah.
until the end
yeah,
of the year.
it
So
was,
he's,
it was ACL. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
he's
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
he's
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 yeah,
gone.
late in the season, he's
And
Yeah.
he'll fill
Uh,
his spot as the deep threat. 'Cause
yeah.
Watson, when healthy, was a pretty good deep
Mhm.
threat. Really.
With the Packers, I always kept one on my roster, and I would love it to be Golden this year, but I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
that happens. But
Yeah.
he's probably
because Love slings it too.
yes, he likes to sling it. And
Well, he's
he
another
can.
one. If you go receiver heavy and say you have 3 and have something at running back, like this is the guy's your WR4 that, hey, if he hits,
He hits
hell
big.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
Right.
that's big. He's definitely worth the shot. I think so. So not poo pooing him, but I guess I'm not going to reach for him. I'll
Yeah,
put it
I'm
that
not
way.
super duper like.
Come
gotta
on,
have
man.
either
Come on,
one of these
Homer.
Guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I'm
I
still
still-
on rookies because like
I still
wrong.
think before Reed got hurt or just got ignored towards the end of the season because
Yeah,
we're running the ball so much. Reed's still a wide receiver 1, and I think that he can continue to be and will be at the beginning of the season. Maybe Golden works into that role, but I
Yeah.
think it'll be.
What helps is they kind of complement each other well because I think Reed is more of a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
like shorter
Yeah.
route. This guy's home run threat.
Yeah.
So,
I'd love to see Reed put a slot.
yeah,
formation.
I think they will more. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
So I think we're kind of on the.
So
consensus,
I'd
like-
say Ibuka round 7, 8,
well, it's hard to project, but that's probably about right.
and
Yeah.
I would probably say
Around
Golden
later, maybe.
a round later.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
I agree with that.
around later.
Yeah. All right, now we're moving to the first tight end. And in the big board of tight ends, boy,
Shout out to Nixon. Here's your tight end, buddy. Woo.
We all know the question mark here. Is who's
Yeah.
getting him the
I
ball.
think his exact words were, "Yeah, it's great if someone could get him the damn ball." So
Nixon is the most pessimistic fan of everything ever.
I'll say though, he's a Colts fan, he's a Cardinals fan, he's a Heat fan. He's going through rough times. He really is.
He's also had a hell of a lot of good times.
He has.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about
He,
the ball
he
game.
just forgets about that.
Yeah, yeah. So what have you done for me lately? It's how it
Yes,
works.
big
But,
time for him.
But yeah, this guy was Penn State's offense. Like
He was
a-
the whole offense. They
Oh,
put
he
him
used
in
him so many
Wildcat,
ways.
They put him on everything.
yeah.
I still, boy,
I'm pretty high on
I don't even say like, where
Honestly.
you draft him in the midst of the draft.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
tight ends is like when one goes, they kind of
It's
dominate.
one of the most
We'll just
top
say,
positions.
we'll
as
just
far as
rank
draft.
where tight ends.
I'm
in
top
the
5 for
league.
sure.
I think he's top 5 for sure.
I like him better than Kelsey. I really do.
I do
I think
too.
Kelsey's years of fantasy.
Yeah, but I think he's still maybe
Relevance.
top 5 or 6, but he's not what he used to be, and
Yeah.
that's because there's not a lot of options.
Right.
So
He might be 3rd or 4th.
I say slam dunk.
Okay, so he's not better than Bowers.
He's not better than
Slam dunk
Bowers.
Bowers.
He's not better than
Trey.
Hyde.
Yeah.
After that,
After that, I'm not sure. That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah,
in my
Kittle's
head.
who I was gonna go with. He Kittle.
Kittle. Yeah, okay,
Maybe I'll
we get
stop
Kittle.
and
So
say
he's
for sure
he's probably 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
I
big
get-
bounce back from Mark Andrews.
No.
No, I do. I gotta be missing somebody, but off the
I
top
think
of my head,
I think that's it. That's
Yeah.
all I'd put ahead of him.
and there's some value in that, really. But I don't know. I like a lot of times the weight on tight ends. Another one's Kincaid. I really think he's gonna take a step up. this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still put him over him.
Yeah, I think so because the target show. Oh, oh my gosh, Laporta guys.
Laporta.
That's
I was about to say Laporta. I started going through the NFC North stuff and like Tucker Craft.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna probably go Laporta over.
Put him right there. I still think 4th.
They're my 4-5. They're
Yeah.
tough. I think Laporta will have a little bit more of a bounce back year this
I'm
year.
gonna put him somewhere between Hawkinson and Tucker Craft.
Okay,
That's
I'm
it.
on Kraft.
Yeah.
That's the
All right,
that's
all
the
right.
Homer coming out in it. Right there.
Yeah.
As we said, Homer Simpson levels of Homerism, which was a comment on our YouTube.
You got
That
it,
one
buddy.
there, I'll put there.
I'm referring to Mr. Chief down here. You're damn
top
right.
10 tight end
I'm
last.
still repping.
top
here.
10, not top 5.
Well, we weren't getting the top 5. And
I'm top 10. I'm top. That's fair. That's fair.
Fair.
It's a crapshoot.
I-
Here's the
You're-
segue
you're-
because it's next guy.
You're gonna hate
There,
this.
top
The
10.
next guy I'd put over Tucker Craft.
All right,
I do
that's
too.
fine.
I'd
We
put
go
Loveland
I
over.
said somewhere between
Yeah.
those guys, man. I
No,
didn't
let's
say
skip
there was only
into
one
it.
slot in there.
We'll give you a little leeway.
I'm
there.
putting Kraft at 10, and I can't even think of anything because also John O. Smith is up there.
Yeah,
with the way
he
the
gets,
Dolphins
oh my
liked him.
lord, yeah, hell too. I'd rather throw to him than Tyreek.
He
but
did, he
loved
would.
him, and I don't blame him. His efficiency numbers are off the charts.
But as we talked about last, our draft reaction episode that went 2 hours. If you need something to listen to for 2
Mhm.
hours, please go check that out on YouTube.
Yeah, we're shooting a little lower this time.
Yeah, we're not doing that this time.
No.
But Loveland is Kelsey, and
Mhm.
Warren is Gronk.
Gronk, that's what we
Okay.
said. Yeah,
Yeah. Now I don't think Loveland's going to be Kelsey.
maybe
in
without
the
the
league.
antics. Sorry.
I feel like those are their ceilings.
Yes.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And I don't think, and probably a better one for Kelsey is Brock Bowers, and Loveland is not near that.
No,
But I do think he is pretty good, and I would put him in that 8-9 range. For
yeah, I'm not as high on
Okay.
him because of the competition for targets, big time.
Well, that and I mean they've already got an established tight end in commit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can run UC2 tight end sets a lot.
Mhm.
And I
Ben
think-
Johnson ran a lot of tight end, tight
Mhm.
end sets.
Yeah, he did. Look at what he did in Detroit. Good
And
call,
I mean,
good
this
call.
is the thing is everyone's saying Loveland compares pretty good to Laporta.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
look
that.
what he's done with Laporta.
And
Right.
to take him number 10, you plan on using
Yes,
him. using
yes.
him,
Oh,
for
sure.
Using the crap out of him. But it's like with with their other weapons there. I mean, I'm pretty high on Adunze. I think he's going to take a step up this year.
DJ Moore still
Yeah,
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, Swift catch some on the backfield. Like there's and heck, not to spoil this, but, we got Luther Burton there too.
Yeah.
We'll get to him a little bit. So
Did they get rid of Keenan Allen?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I don't know
thought so.
where he went, or did he finally?
I
retire?
think he might have
I
finally
think
hung
he
him
might
up.
have had it.
Yeah, I don't. He had a hell.
It's
of a
about 6 ACL tears in.
So we're saying Tyler Warren 4/5 range.
Yeah. and Loveland
And Loveland
with a
8-9.
hell of a lot upside at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No offense, I'm taking him over Kraft.
If,
I'm
if,
taking-
Warren-
yeah.
if they can get the ball to Warren, he's got as much upside as any tight end.
Yeah, and Anthony Richardson, you just got to pitch it to him. We've seen
That's
what he
true.
can do with the ball. Just underneath
Big
it.
man run.
We'll toss it.
Yeah.
You get ball to him, you did your job.
Right,
That's all.
one person we missed in the top 10 is somebody I think Woody is high on.
Yeah,
I think.
Johnson.
Caleb Johnson down there at Pittsburgh. So I'm gonna zoom in on Woody and let you talk a little bit.
I really am.
Camera.
This guy, oh yeah, I was looking at myself. Yeah, not bad. This guy, I like that he's a 3-down back. I really do. I think he's going to be probably take over as their main back in that backfield. And I think I know they got, well, I don't know who's playing quarterback yet. We'll see about that one. Is it still your boy?
Well,
Coming?
honestly, I have no idea.
But
I think
You know-
I think his personal things was him getting married, supposedly by the picture of him at the Kentucky Derby with a ring on. AJ Hawk could not confirm or deny.
okay.
any information
now we know what's going on with Mystery Man. There
Yes.
we go. Still hadn't signed, but no, I think Jalen Warren is what kind of complicates this, muddies it a little bit. Is I think he's a solid back, but he's not your traditional 3-down back like
He's
this guy
got
is.
3 down. No,
No,
I
no,
think
I think he's gonna split it. Like I'm thinking 70-30 split. Truthfully,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Tell him-
I was gonna say 2/3 a third, so
Okay.
pretty close.
Yeah, we're about the same ballpark.
But I do think there's upside in that. Pittsburgh generally likes to run the ball.
Oh, and
yeah.
touchdown upside's what I was going to get to because he's a touchdown machine at
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a pretty big boy and everything, and I think he gets the ball over Warren down there.
Oh, I think he's going
You
to
know,
get every opportunity to
Yeah.
get more touches than Warren.
Yeah, yep.
Unless he squanders that opportunity.
Yeah, a couple
It-
fumbles and
it-
John was not
yeah.
going to have.
Jalen Warren is kind of more explosive,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
He's
got
a
good
pass in the backfield.
pat,
back.
Yeah.
pass in the backfield, or
Yeah.
get lined up for an explosive play. But Johnson's
Yeah.
going to get the majority. I do
yeah,
agree.
I
Yeah.
think so, and I'm pretty high on him. Like I think this could be a low-end running back too, with maybe even more upside.
I was going to say running back 3.
maybe I might be real high on him.
He's
Or
a
be-
low end or
yeah,
Yeah,
so,
so,
flex, so
Yeah,
yeah,
flex
and
is kind of
after a couple weeks he might establish
Yeah.
himself as a
Yeah.
number 2. So I'm
Yeah, if you
really
want to take a
curious.
chance and bet on the upside later in the year as he gets
Yeah.
going.
Well, what scares the hell out of me on this one, which we will know by draft time, but not knowing who the quarterback is,
Yeah.
like, dear God, if we
Yeah.
I will
What's
say,
his nuts, I start to pick it wrong.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, there you go.
moving back to Travion Henderson, I do think early in this year he'll get playing time because of how good he blocks. So that is something
Yeah.
to think about.
They want to save
He's-
Greg May.
He's
yeah.
not going to be the normal rookie running back, except for like a guy like Genty who takes it a little bit to get going. Because usually it's the pass blocking that
Mhm.
kind of holds up
Yeah.
rookie running
It
backs
is,
to
it
really
is.
get going.
Yeah, you get the quarterback going
So,
up here on the bench. Yeah.
That was more of a thought I had
Yeah.
in my head right then. But
Mhm.
I do think Johnson is going to be, at the end of the year, RB1 for that team and RB3 range, flex
Okay.
range for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I was really split between him, and I don't know how far the top 10 you want to go, but RJ Harvey,
Well, I'd say
Like-
here now we've done the top 10, so
Yeah.
let's just pick guys that
highlight a
we-
few
that we
behind.
like.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm pretty high on RJ Harvey, actually, because Sean Payton wanted this guy. And you see how Sean Payton, when he gets his running back,
They need a running
Yeah.
back for sure. It's
Yeah,
not
he's a
gonna
hell
be
of a
the guy
player.
that me and Rogers can't stand
Yeah.
anymore.
That's true. But no, and this guy is good out of the backfield, catching balls. Like, I mean, I really thought they were going to take Hampton. That was at first round. Yeah, I was on-
Everybody did, yeah.
Yeah, I just think he's a good fit for what Sean Payton likes. Like we mentioned on that show, Kamara, he's taking him, taking gosh dang, I'm drawing Reggie Bush. That was the other one. Like
Yeah.
Mark
he-
Ingram.
Ingram, yep. When he gets his running back high in the draft, he uses the crap out of him,
He does.
and he gets attached to his guys big time. So I think he's going to play a lot. Who else has he got for competition in that backfield too? Like, he's still there.
What is that guy's name?
Well, he wasn't good enough for us to remember him. So there's my
I
point.
mean, they got rid of Javante, so estimate.
Yeah.
Estime.
Estimate,
Yeah.
yeah, who found his way to the doghouse pretty quick.
Yes.
So I'm pretty high on this kid. I'm kind of gonna put him in the same group. Like I think he could be
Okay.
flex, one running back too. Like I'm in that same range with him.
Okay.
A guy that we haven't mentioned that I'm gonna do one more running back here, and then we're
Okay.
gonna kind of move on to some quarterbacks.
Mhm.
But Cam Scatterbo.
I love that guy.
He's gonna get
Yeah, yeah.
the job there for one thing.
I don't think so.
I
I think
it's
that's
split.
split.
Tracy.
Like I think that's straight up a 50-50
All right.
split. Tracy was very good for them at the end of the year. He's a hell of a pass catcher. And they
He's not doing
are
it.
very much a thunder lightning duo.
And I think that Scatterbo gets the touchdowns because
I
that
kinda
guy
do.
loves
I do.
contact.
I don't disagree with
I
that.
do like.
Man,
if he doesn't score, he might get up hit him anyway.
Exactly.
Tracy was
Yeah.
very good. You guys are underselling him.
And this is gonna
No,
be
I agree.
gonna be
Very good.
weird, but I think that this Giants offense, if they can get someone to quarterback them, is actually pretty talented.
Has been a problem.
Yeah,
They have a
But
lot of
Jameis,
options.
We'll
they
see.
do.
They have a
They
lot of
do. We got
options.
Jameis. We got Russ. I
You
mean,
got Dart.
I'll say it's better than last year.
Yes,
I'll
it's
say
way better options than
Uh,
last year. for sure.
Neighbors. I mean, there is potential there.
Yeah.
There is. So
Yeah, I wish they had a little more weapons with neighbors.
Yeah. Let's say I think Scatabo and Tracy both have standalone value. Truthfully,
They do.
I think they're both good flex.
Yeah,
I do.
Like that's
I-
what I'm at with those
I
guys.
agree. I agree for sure.
Whether the Giants organization can figure out how to properly utilize them is a big question.
That's true. I actually don't. Their coach Dable, I actually think he's a decent coach.
Yeah.
Like he's
He-
inherited. Danny Dimes.
Everybody loves him. Actually,
don't
they
think
think
he's
he's
a
a
bad
heck of a good coach.
Didn't he win Coach of the Year 2 years ago? And they
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
12.
And he's the guy that everyone credits with making
Josh Allen, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna poo-poo all on him, but the Giants organization as a whole, to your point, yeah, it's been flaming hot dog shit lately.
Oh yeah, and dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
What one guy I do want to mention, if you are looking at drafting JT in the top 10, which is probably where JT goes,
I like where you're going here.
Yeah.
make sure you draft DJ Giddens.
Talking about handcuffing.
You got a
The
handcuff.
handcuff. He's very
Okay.
good.
That's a handcuff. And I don't mind drafting Dylan Sampson and
Yeah.
Quishon
Well,
Judkins.
Judkins?
Yes.
I like
For that
Sampson. Very
handcuff as
explosive.
well. But I think DJ Giddens actually was still gonna get a few touches actually.
Yeah,
for
I think
this
it's
Indy
smart.
team.
Really, it's
And
You
if
don't want to
J-
give JT a heavy workload.
and
again.
JT
No.
gets, he's gonna
Not a
miss a
lot of
game or
injuries.
two. It seems
Yeah.
like so. I
Wow.
definitely think not a huge grab step up. Somebody you got to draft unless you draft JT.
Yeah.
With your last pick, if he's still there or whatever, make that handcuff.
What reminds me last year, I was pretty high on Blake Corum as a handcuff, which didn't really pan
Yeah.
out. But Kyron
Yeah.
Williams, there's injury issues there and stuff, and I was like, that's worth the gamble.
Mhm.
I feel this is the same way. Blake, your
Yeah,
guy?
well, and I mean JT minus that amazing rookie season that he had, has been pretty injury
He's-
like he's gonna
he-
miss 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a very good call. I don't know as a standalone value. New England receiver.
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his first name. Kyle
Kyle
Williams.
Williams.
I'm just intrigued because
He's a
who's going to be the
interesting.
one?
He's an interesting stash.
Bourne.
I'm gonna throw right. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Like-
Isn't it Kendrick Bourne?
I get
Holt
lost
is who I
on
was
them.
thinking of last year.
Yeah,
He's a high
Holt.
draft capital out of
Yeah.
Washington didn't do much. But since we don't know if he's their wide receiver,
Travion Henderson.
might be. Yeah, might be. But I love me some Drake May, so I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna roll the dice on him.
He's worth a stash. I agree.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
definitely
exactly.
like I stashed Leggett all last year. Didn't
Mhm.
if you end up using him, but I thought he was worth a stash.
No,
Kinda
he was.
betting on the upside.
flashes.
I like the Williams stash as well.
Yeah.
Rogers mentioned quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask. Do you guys think that there is a fantasy relevant quarterback like that you will draft?
Cam,
Past Cam Ward.
not
No.
past Cam Ward. It's
No,
only
Cam
Cam
Ward's on
Ward,
there.
and I think
I agree with that.
he's in Justin Field trade.
Now I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
Jackson Dart doesn't get picked up off the waiver wire week 6,
Yeah.
but
But
They're 0-5, yeah.
yeah, but Dart has two guys in front of him
Yeah.
that are gonna get
Yeah,
options.
It's
there.
gonna be an end of the year thing for him.
Or should
because
I-
they don't want to throw him.
I
out
don't think
for a
Dart,
while.
I don't think we
Should
see
be-
Dart. I don't think we see Dart this year.
maybe not.
I don't.
We
either,
should.
and I think
we
that's
should,
smart.
and I don't think
I
we should. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no reason you have Jameis and Russ.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
ain't letting them
dynasty
hang out.
maybe, but Cam Ward, I'm not super high on.
I said
their weapon.
Justin Fields
Yeah, I agree with
is
that.
where he should
But where are
be
we
in that
talking, like-
range. Like
Yeah.
Not like past 12, 13. Like, is it
I think Justin Fields
in a
is good value.
QB2?
Yeah.
Yeah, super
QB2,
flex,
super
flex
flex.
league,
Yeah, he's probably like
Oh gosh, it's
15th,
probably.
16th.
Yeah, I was high.
Yeah.
You're probably under 50.
Probably your last pick of the draft, so you
Yeah.
can just stash a second quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Because if
Yeah.
they had more weapons, I'd be a little more intrigued. Because I like the talent there, but I'm not this year.
All right, Woody, let's hear about Luther Burden III.
I love the kid. I mean, Mizzou fan. I'm not gonna lie. Homer, whatever, right here. Homer Simpson, Homer, sure. Love the talent. Don't like the fit for this year because, like we discussed earlier, with all the weapons there. Now, this is a guy though. I think once again go back to dynasty. Like if you get him very late, he's intriguing because the skill set's there. He can play all different receiver roles. Like he's got.
He's
the size,
a
the
guy
speed.
you just kind of get the ball to and let him
Yeah,
go.
yeah. It could work out well for Caleb Williams doing
Yeah.
that. But
I think the Bears are going to be a lot better.
He
this
could have
year.
a spot.
really
I
do.
flex.
I do
He
too.
could have a spot.
if he shows something, he's worth, I guess, in a standard league, a late round flyer.
Yeah.
Worth
Yeah.
it. But don't be
Uh,
surprised if you're cutting him. But
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that-
mean,
Another guy here, as I'm looking on this list, that I'm interested in is Jaden Blue.
Okay.
Texas. I like that.
Down
I
at-
like him.
In the Cowboys,
Yeah.
he's probably running back one there. He's probably going to get the touches.
Well, they've got old man
freaking
Javante Williams.
no, they
that
got
was
Javante.
I think it's
Javante-
Javante, yeah.
But Javante's not been great.
Yeah, I like the talent, but he's not the best between the tackles runner. He is great in space. He's a hell of a receiver.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, receiving backs, he's up there with Henderson. I think maybe I'm off on that.
I would probably agree.
Yeah. Now the rest of his game, no,
Yeah.
pales in comparison to him. But I don't know on the split. I think Javante, they will probably start the season at 75-25, maybe.
Okay.
They got him there to run him into the ground.
I-
Mm-hmm.
I think Blue might be worth a stash. It's just
If
what
you're talking PPR,
Yeah.
now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Like you
especially
could have, like,
PPR for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I just think that he may I'm not high on Javante at all.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
And I
Not
just
how many
think that
of us-
Blue could easily take that job.
Mhm.
I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I think my concern with him with the job is longevity and how it holds up. Like he's not a big guy.
They also got
Texas
Miles
receiver.
Sanders as well.
Yeah, they did.
Uh,
I said
Miles
Miles Gaskin, but Sanders.
yeah, they got Sanders, so
He's got some
he
confidence.
might be the home run hitter.
Yeah,
for
he
them.
is. No, he
That's
is. There's
like
no doubt
and that.
about
There's value in that.
Yeah, there is.
There
yeah.
is.
I'm
It's-
not ruling out he could be a flex play.
Yeah.
Very solid one.
All
But
right.
Carey's not there to start the game.
And then one other guy I wanted to mention that I think might get some play is actually a tight end.
Okay.
I like Harold Fannin Jr.
Browns.
for
Yeah.
the Browns.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
I think that him and Njoku are the best two pass catchers the Browns have.
Jerry Judy, man. Don't be just Jerry Judy.
Hey, he actually
Come on.
He
did.
did actually look all
He
right.
did look good last
He
year.
really did.
Didn't they have that Cedric Brown too?
I think it was after we kind of ruled him out.
Yeah, they had
About the
somebody
big-
there.
Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman. I was,
He came on pretty strong. He's a very
Yeah.
raw kid, and I mean, he looked very explosive.
I just think with the way this team is set up, they're gonna have two tight end sets, and Harold Fannin Jr. is very underrated to how athletic he is for a tight end.
Yeah.
He I think he led the NCAA in yards after catch.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the tight end position. He is a stud athlete.
No, he is. He is.
He may not draft him, put him on your watch list, and he might be a play for that tight end position.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
We all hate if you don't get a top 5 tight end, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
You're grabbing at straws.
Yeah.
Honestly, after that,
you
really
probably got
are.
3 of them on your roster, and you have no idea which one to start.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Dark throw.
If you have 3 of them on your roster, you're an idiot.
That's a BBB stamp of approval. It is.
Please don't do that.
I'm gonna tell you what. I usually don't draft tight end high, but if I do, let me rephrase it. If you get past those first couple tight ends, I'm using picks elsewhere, and I'm gonna throw a dart.
Yeah.
That's how it is because I have so many years. They'll get guy off waiver wire that's sufficient.
Right.
within the
Like
season.
last year, I got Kate Otten mid-season.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a hell of a
Yeah.
pickup. Yeah. You beat me to that one. You asshole. Mason Taylor's the other tight end I want to mention.
For the
Jets.
Jets, yeah.
Yes, Jets. That could be a great safety blanket, a little binky for Justin Fields.
Yep.
You need one.
Questionable accuracy.
He needs one for sure.
It's a few. I like Justin Fields. We'll see how it goes. But LSU, he played with Daniels, like the talent.
He's got a
there.
pedigree.
Yes,
His
he did.
dad,
Pedigree.
Sean Taylor, his uncle is also another good player.
I was
I
gonna guess Jason Taylor.
No.
Is it Jason Taylor?
That may be
It should
Jason
be.
Taylor.
I don't know. He was a freak. The Dolphins.
Yeah, sorry, it's Jason Taylor. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. I'm just
Jason
guessing.
Taylor.
I didn't look it up.
But his uncle is also like a linebacker. I might look that up. Or
Yeah.
you guys talk
No, no,
about
no.
something else.
I think as far as tight ends, Ferguson with LA is intriguing, but they've still got Higbee. I don't know how fit in the offense, and I stay away from rookie tight ends a lot, unless it's like the Bowers, Warren, like the obvious stud type.
Screw you guys. Last pick of the draft. I'm taking
he's-
time to show.
They,
we were on tight ends. Where'd that come from?
anyways,
I like it. I like it.
Zach Thomas is Mason Taylor's uncle.
okay.
So he has the
It should have been
pedigree.
Jason Taylor.
He had no,
No, the linebacker. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
the linebacker.
Oh
His
my
dad
goodness,
is
funny.
Jason Taylor.
Yeah.
His uncle is Zach Thomas. This dude is bred to be a freaking football player.
How does that work out? That's some talent in the family.
Yeah,
Boy,
it
I think
is.
there's some family trees.
That was
locked.
yeah.
That is. That is.
Oh, a better way to put that. Wait a minute.
So,
That branched out, guys.
all right.
Um,
is there anyone else we want to talk
Last
about?
one.
Anyone?
One more.
Any
This-
guy for you, Rogers? You can.
Oh yeah, you go first. You go
Tyler Show.
first. Go ahead. Run.
No, I think he'll be the starting quarterback.
I do agree. I do.
I
He's on a bad offense.
Yeah,
and
he's got some weapons.
not necessarily that great of a ball thrower.
Well, that's a prime quarterback. It is, but he got opportunity.
But he will have immediate starting, and he could have relevance. I don't know if he's going to be good enough to actually roster, but
yeah,
maybe a guy you look at and pick up during your bye week. Your quarterback's on a bye.
Yeah. That worked for you as a rookie last year. It did.
It did.
Bo Nix.
Kept him all season. He went on I think it was before a Thursday night game.
It was.
Yeah, I just wanted to watch one of my players play on Thursday while we were live. So I picked up Bo Nix, slapped him in there, and he didn't leave the rest of the season.
I remember I gave you a plethora of shit about that. I was like, we had all these good quarterbacks out here, and you was like, no,
It was our Wednesday night TikTok live. Look for that coming this next year. Assuming TikTok likes us by then, who knows? But yeah, we was talking about it. He's like, I'm picking Bo Nix up right now, and it worked out great.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
That was like the week he turned it around.
Yep, it was unreal.
He showed a little bit of promise the week before, and then after that, he started balling.
I mean, Sean Payton had a little faith in drafting, but this guy right here, that's what Bo needed to believe.
That's right.
There you go.
All right, Woody, who's your last guy?
Last one I got, this is a total stash, but I'm intrigued by Devin Neal, running back. Saints took him 6th round or so just because of Kamara is getting up there. Injury concerns, like I
Legal
feel like
concerns.
There's a lot of concerns in general.
Yeah.
Man. So I think there could be opportunity there, and I believe he's at Kansas. I believe it was like he was. I mean, very solid. The Big 12. They're still there. I get confused with my conferences there, buddy.
Yeah.
But he's a touchdown machine. I'm intrigued. Like, that might be another Woody late round stash dart throw.
Okay.
The last one I'll say is Bashaw Tootin down there in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Duval.
Duval County. Duval. I just think with what we've seen last year from ETN and Tank Bigsby, they're not solid, it seems. So there's a spot possibly there for somebody to reach up there and grab it and take it by the horns.
Tank Bigsby does win one of the coolest names in the
He does win that.
Tank for running back.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is
Tank
great.
Bigsby.
Way better than Homer for a pitcher.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that's been our fantasy rookie rankings. At least the guys we wanted to talk about. We'll see you next time. This is Benchwarmers Basement Banter. If you're watching, well, yes, there's our social media up top. If you're watching us on Twitch or Kick right now, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna go live again, record another video, and
Stay classy and Southern.
Oh, you beat me to it.